Hey guys, I'm Hugo and welcome to Advanced Sim Racing. Today we're going to be building a racing simulator for Parker Thompson, who currently races in IMSA GTD in the Lexus number 12 car. So come along with us as we set up a simulator. The first step to any turnkey racing simulator, and probably the most important one, is understanding what the customer is looking for. Now, this could have to do with budget, the space that he has, or what he's trying to achieve out of the simulator. There's so many different types of customers, and all of them are looking for a simulator for a different reason. In Parker's case, obviously, he is looking to add a simulator as a training tool. So we're going to be catering the build towards the feeling of his real Lexus RCF GT3 car, whether that be with pedal feel, seating position, steering feel, motion system feel. There's so many different parameters that need to be configured so that we can meet the customer's exact requirements. First things that I hear from pretty much all of my customers is, I am overwhelmed. There are too many options, which is fair enough. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of different configurations, whether it be pedals, steering wheels, seats, motion systems, chassis, you name it. We have it here, and obviously it is crucial that we get the configuration that the customer is after. The showroom is a great place to start. If you're local to Montreal, you're going to be able to get a hands-on feeling on some of the different components, as you can see the steering wheels that we have back there, or actually sit and try one of the simulators to get an idea of how it's going to feel like once it is installed at your place. So once we have all of the components listed out and we have gotten a build with the customer that we're happy with, the next step is obviously either building or, in Parker's case, shipping. As he is in Charlotte, we'll be shipping everything, and then a team of 2 guys, in that case, me and Phil, will be flying over and we'll be doing the build from scratch at the customer's place. In the case of local turnkeys, which is typically within a 6 to 8 hour driving distance of Montreal, we'll be building everything in the build room, so testing out and doing most of the configuration. Once we get to the customer's place, that's where we'll do the final adjustments when it comes to seating position and the final configuration. So we are headed to Montreal Yule Airport. Phil is going to be joining us there. Once we catch our flight, we're supposed to land at around 4:30 in Charlotte, so we'll be heading directly to Parker's place. We'll make sure that all the boxes are accounted for. Sometimes shipping mistakes can happen, and if stuff is missing, we want to make sure that we can get it overnighted so that we have it ready for build day, which is going to be tomorrow, as well as the next day.
Right guys, so we arrived at the clients yesterday. We already opened all the boxes, made sure we had all the equipment that we need. Fortunately, UPS lost us a package, so we got it shipped overnight, just a regular PC stand. So these are the kind of things that can happen.
So we've done most of the build for the ASR6 as well as the monitor stand. Right now we are going to open up the peripherals. We are going to be using a Simucube 2 Pro Wheelbase. It's what we use for the vast majority of our builds. One of the best wheelbases on the market. We're going to be using a GSI GXL Pro for the steering wheel and a set of 3-pedal Ultimate from Heusinkveld. So let's get unboxing 2, and won't take it out of the box just now. We're going to put it on the front mount just afterwards. Now, of course, no wheelbase without a steering wheel, and we've got a beautiful one from GSI, our partners down in Texas. Got a set of stickers, and nice. Of course, we need a quick release with that. It's just there. And last but not least, we have the Heusinkveld Ultimates. There we go. So all the pedals that we'll need, as well as the mounting hardware and the smart controller from Heusinkveld. We're gonna install everything else and we'll see you in a bit.
So we've almost finished building the rig. Next step will be to put on the Sparco seat. All the wiring has been done. This setup has no D-box, so a little bit less wiring, but everything is hidden underneath the pedals and on the side post right here. Steps to finish off the rigs, then we'll jump into the monitor stand, triple monitor, fourth monitor as well. So something we always do is make sure everything is set up and configured properly. We'll sit the driver in and we'll try and replicate either his race car or just a position that he's comfortable with. So our goal is really to make him feel at home in his simulator. We have just finished installing the triple monitor stand using the Samsung G5s. As you can see right here, we are also using the advanced VESA. It helps us have the perfect fitment in terms of screen adjustments. So right here you can see there's no gap whatsoever, everything is aligned perfectly. Also on this build we've added the fourth monitor mount. This is perfect if you want to have data or like a website or browser on top while you're racing, you have access to it. So it's time for driver fitment. So we'll get the recommendation of Parker and then adjust the sim to fit his Lexus or his Supra. First thing, seat compared to steering. Anything closer, higher, lower?
Pretty close.
Pretty close
like
to it?
Maybe a ½ inch closer.
Going with pedals, first off, where would the brake be? A bit closer to the middle?
Yeah,
or?
exactly. Brake would probably be about right there. Throttle quite close. I would even say, yeah, yep. And you know what? Let's go ahead and just sneak the. I'm just looking at it where it is on the steering. If we could put the throttle right there.
Things we're gonna do is how close you want them from you, but also like how much angle you want. And I think that's the most important thing.
Yes.
You can also lower, I believe, the like the pedal face.
That honestly,
if you want to,
it'd be a great idea.
Okay. So
because I can tell you right now, like even
they're
just
too high.
Yeah.
This also you can raise it. It depends like how your foot are positioned in the car. Like are they quite low or just kind of leveled?
The ball of my foot is generally curve of the pedal.
Okay.
For instance, I would say my heels aren't much lower than 3-4 inches on my butt.
Okay. So how's the angle?
The angle's not bad if we can get my heels up.
Yeah. So the cool thing with the aluminum pedal deck is it actually comes in two parts. So we got the pedal deck itself where we can just put the pedals, and then we have the heel rest, which is independent. So you can raise or lower the heel rest to have the perfect driving position that you want. Now, how stiff is the pedal in the Lexus?
Very stiff.
Very stiff?
Generally.
So I'll give you a very stiff pedal.
It's very stiff on the brake. The throttle is probably pretty comparable.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's a pretty stiff pedal in terms of like all the sim racing pedals. And how much travel there is?
That's pretty close. I would say there's a little more throttle travel.
This is max travel.
Okay.
If you want to try it out.
It goes 3/4.
3/4?
And then I'd say leave it.
And Parker, just so people know, what car do you drive?
On the track, I drive the RCF Lexus GT3 car, the number 12 in IMSA Racing in GTD. And then I drive the number 999 Toyota Supra in the SRO with Hanley Motorsports. Probably the biggest difference between driving a real race car.
The brakes?
The brakes.
Yeah.
And in the sim. Especially in iRacing, how the trail brake works, because that's where, in my limited experience in sim racing, that's where I'm getting my ass kicked.
It's hard.
It's really hard. So, as much as I want travel to make it feel like the real race car, you've got to also guide me in terms of.
I think like most of it is muscle memory.
Yep.
So if you're used to something, try and get that feeling in the sim, and then it's a matter of kind of understanding how much speed you decelerate in game with your eyes, because you're not feeling any G-force compared to the pressure applied to the brake pedal. I think that's the difference.
The wild thing, right, is like if you zoom in iRacing, that amount of trail brake makes the entire difference of a lap. In the real race car, especially in our Lexus, that amount of trail braking. You almost think of it as like, more than that.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like 2 millimeters in iRacing versus 1/4 of an inch to a 1/2 inch in the real car of how much trail you need to have. Oh yeah.
You can feel like the transition in between like the 3 different rubbers.
Well, and I can actually you train your muscle memory, your brake foot to be at peak, and then trail. And off, right?
Yeah.
And you can feel the stages, which I like.
If you want to test it out again.
Beauty. Oh, baby.
Better, right?
That is good.
So we have just finished installing all the peripherals on the triple monitor stand. As you can see, well, you can't see them. There's no wires, okay? We try to hide them as much as we can, so they're all tucked in the inside. Underneath, we put all the power supplies in here. So when you take a step back, you just literally can't see any wires. It's beautiful, also very functional. If you ever need to move the rig or the monitor stand, it's pretty easy. Coming from the monitor stand, you only get 1 power cable and 1 USB extension. Then the monitor stand itself, kind of the same process. power outlet and USB extension, maybe 3-4 cables to move or to remove, and then you can move the rig around the house. So Parker, how does the first drive feel?
Unbelievable. It is so good. I mean, funny enough, it wasn't too long ago this morning I was driving Daytona in something that cost a lot more than this simulator. And
how close is it?
It's deadly close.
Nice.
It makes me disappointed that I didn't realize that I needed one of these earlier in my career. So I'm glad we're on the train now.
That's it.
As you guys just saw, Parker just did his first race no less than, 20 minutes into this very sim. So yeah, let's get some thoughts on this. Tell us about it a little bit.
It's unbelievable. It is so close to what we have in the real thing. Honestly, I couldn't be happier. It is perfect. It is going to treat the 2024 season. It's going to take me to the next level.
Glad to hear it, glad to hear it. And yeah, what can this bring to your career? Because some people may not be sure of what a simulator can bring to them. Some drivers may be on the fence as to getting one or not. What do you think this will bring to you and allow you to continue to go in your career?
It will bring me racing every single day, which unfortunately, I shouldn't say unfortunately, but right now the level in IMSA, the level in WEC, in World Sports Car Driving is just through the roof. You need to be putting 50 hours a week as a professional driver away from the track just to show up to the track to compete. So that is what this rig here is going to do. And honestly, it did not disappoint. I felt at home the minute I stepped inside this. Even though I was driving a different car, I honestly felt like I was behind the wheel of our Lexus RCF GT3 car.
So you seem to be getting on as soon. That was one of the things that amazed me the most is even just the first lap that you did, and you were telling us that you were on the Lexus simulator this morning, which is of course significantly more expensive than this, and is just how smooth everything felt to you. It just looks like you were driving the same car that you drive every single day. Well, maybe not every single day, but as in your career in general. So cool, and tell us about the whole process from A to Z of setting this thing up. Wow,
the whole process is awesome because I don't even know how it got set up. I just came home and they said, where do you want your pedals? Where do you want your steering wheel? The joke is Hugo and Phil actually beat me to my own house. I got lost. I moved here literally 2.5 months ago to Mooresville, North Carolina for the job at Lexus. So they literally beat me to my house the first day. They showed up early every day. They ripped this out in what we could have had a day.
Yes,
a couple parts were delayed on my part, getting the Sparco seat. And then one of the other parts didn't show up. They acted on it right away. They ordered it. It was built on time. So honestly, start to finish, anybody could trust that. That was pretty incredible. And I couldn't be happier. I'm literally so antsy to get back on.
He was just telling us, he finished the race, and then we were said, okay, we've got about 45 minutes left to record, and Parker was saying, I want to get some Bathurst laps in. So we'll jump to that.